Hey everyone, this is the Fat Panda with another gym video challenge. This is going to be against a new challenger, TheGhost. He's not really new to the league, but this is the first time we've actually managed to find time to have a battle. So it's going to be his first challenge, at least against me. I think he's beat around half the league so far. So he's doing pretty well. Looking at his team, he has a fairly standard rain team. It would be certainly a very scary team to face in a single battle. This gym battle is actually going to be a rotation battle, though, so there are some things that won't work out as well. Generally, Ferrothorns, don't quite have as much of an impact unless they're more offensive. I know for a fact, like his has Stealth Rocks, that won't be able to do a heck of a lot. But well, we'll see how he does. May as well just hop right into this and see how it goes. My team's changed a little bit. I don't want to give away too much of the new additions, so as they show up, and you'll see what they do, but I don't want to give away too much, at least not right now. So Ghost opens up with a Ferrothorn, a Politoed, and a Porygon 2. He opens up pretty much with the 3 defensive mons. Probably just going to try to scout out to see what my team is capable of before bringing in, something that can actually do damage. My Dragonite outspeeds all 3 members of his team, though, so I just switch straight to it and go for his substitute to scout out what attack he has. He actually goes for a Stealth Rocks, which I find unusual, at least for a rotation battle. It won't really be able to go off that much because there's not a heck of a lot of switching that goes on. So I get my free sub up. Then I just go for the Dragon Dance. Since stat boosts don't disappear when you rotate to the sides, boosting is actually a really good strategy in rotations. So I'm now at +1 for Dragon Dance. My sub does get broken here by an Ice Beam. Multi-scale's not up, of course, because of substitutes, so that doesn't surprise me at all. So I switch here to Jirachi. I'm expecting another Ice Beam, so I just go for the Thunder Wave to paralyze this Politoed. This is a support Jirachi, so he's only packing Iron Head as his offensive move. But Thunder Wave is really all he needs to do a lot of the time. He does get frozen here by Ice Beam, just pretty unfortunate. But then again, he has no real offense out on his side of the field, so Jirachi is really in no danger at all. I just keep him in right here. May as well try to, work out this freeze. I don't want him to bring in a sweeper while Jirachi's still frozen, so I want to get out of that as fast as possible. It ends pretty quickly, which is awesome. And I just set up the Wish for my Dragonite next turn. Porygon 2, he goes for the TRI attack, since, of course, he wasn't sure or not if I would unfreeze. Get a little bit more leftovers recovery in there. And then I rotate to Dragonite to set up another sub. Since I know I have a Wish heal coming this turn, I can sub and still end up at full health. Politoed here goes for the Scald, predicting the Jirachi to stay in. So I'm thinking, yeah, get another free sub. Unfortunately, this one I think is a crit. Yep, this one's the crit, so it does break my sub, which kind of sucks. But, these things happen. I'd rather he crits a sub than crit, one of my guys when they're just out in the open. But Dragonite gets fully healed, so I mean, that's good enough for me. It's like I protected or something. So here I set up yet another sub, since I'm still faster. And this Porygon 2 is also packing Ice Beam, which is unfortunate. It's going to be hard to actually, get a sub to stick, it looks like. I can't even get one down to get another Dragon Dance off, and I don't think I can KO any of these guys yet with an attack. So I just go to Jirachi, go for the Paralyze. He didn't switch at all this time, which is fortunate. So I do get the Paralyze onto Porygon 2. So now both of his Ice Beamers are paralyzed, so if I'm lucky I can just get them to give me a free turn. Goes for the Ice Beam again, still pretty Dragonite to stay in. And Jirachi really doesn't care about those at all. Now I switch to Cresselia, who is, this team is actually a dual screener. So I set up my light screen here. I figure I may as well. With the light screen, there's a chance that their special attacks may not break my subs, which would be amazing. Get Scalded here. I mean, it does nothing. Cresselia has crazy high defenses. Dragonite, go for a sub again. Hopefully get it to stick this time, and it does because I do get a pair of hacks. So now I know I get at least one more Dragon Dance out right here, which I go for. So now I'm at +2/+2. And Dragonite's just getting scarier and scarier. At this point, I'm pretty sure I can outspeed his whole team. I don't know if he has any Scarf. Like, I don't know if his Latios is Scarfed or Specs or Life Orb or God only knows what. But I think at this point, at +2 speed, I actually outspeed her. Since he goes paralyzed yet again, I do get a third Dragon Dance off. At this point, I know I outspeed everything he's got, and I could probably one-hit KO everything except probably the Porygon 2 and the Ferrothorn. Politoed at this point doesn't scare me at all. I do lose my sub this turn, though, but at this point, it probably doesn't matter. An Ice Beam from Porygon 2 is still a worry, though. So I switch to Jirachi. And I just set up the Wish again. This time to heal my Dragonite up to full so he can actually sweep. He gets seeded, which would be rather unfortunate in a longer battle. But since I'm pretty much already set up to sweep his whole team without the Jirachi, it isn't as important anymore, which is lucky for me. So then I just go to Dragonite. And I believe I set up a sub, yep. Just to, because I know I'll get fully healed anyway from the Wish, so I may as well set up a sub and see if I can just make sure I'm extra safe. But he does get his Ice Beam off, which kind of sucks, so I lose my sub. Still get fully healed from Wish, so Dragonite's, you know, +3/+3 and fully healed. He actually switches out Porygon 2 here. To send in his Jolteon. I think unfortunately it's a little too late to save him. I assume this Jolteon must carry HP Ice, which is why he switched it in now. But I get a sub up here, so even if it's carrying like a Scarf and max speed and maybe can somehow outspeed me, it doesn't really matter. Here I go for the Protect. I was just scouting an attack and getting a little bit more leftovers recovery. I just wanted to see what he was going to attempt to do, if he was going for an HPI, Serval Switch, or something interesting. I lose my light screen here, but it's already past setup time, so I'm feeling pretty good. I go for the Dragon Claw here. I'm just, you know, at this point I'm just determined to sweep at +3/+3. Politoed, even if it's a defensive variant, won't be able to handle that. It drops like rocks. And he sends out his Gyarados. I don't know if this is an offensive Gyarados or a defensive Gyarados. It could easily be either, with the Jolteon being its defensive counterpart. Well, defensive Jolteon sounds a little weird, but with the Volt Absorb, it's a fantastic partner for Gyarados. Same with like Thunderous Tea or Electivire or something like that. But it falls here to a Dragon Claw. I mean, at this point, there's really nothing that can stop me. Latios is going to be too slow, so there's not really anything he can do. He switches to his Ferrothorn just to soak up a hit, or so I would assume. Takes the Dragon Claw. Of course, Ferrothorn doesn't care at all about these attacks. It does like 40% max right there. And I take a little bit of Iron Barb damage, but it really doesn't matter, especially with leftovers. Power Whip, I think I'm 4 times resistant to Power Whip here, so you know, it's not going to break my sub anytime soon. He switches to Jolteon here. I don't know if he was hoping that I'd do something like Dance again or whatnot against the Ferrothorn, but I just went for the Dragon Claw. At this point, there's no reason to do anything else. Nothing he has can hurt me, so I can just Dragon Claw my way to victory. He sends out his Porygon 2, and it actually traces Multiscale, which, although it's not relevant in this battle in the slightest due to the fact that it's already over, is a very interesting little thing to happen. And if that were to, especially with Porygon 2, which has access to recover, if that were to happen early in a match, and especially in a rotation match, that could make him incredibly scary because he can just multi-scale hits and then recover them later. Fortunately, it really doesn't matter anymore. He falls again, and Ghost is just down to his Latios and his Ferrothorn. I go for the Dragon Claw here. Latios stays in, takes the hit. It's weak to it. It's going to go down like a sack of rocks. And now the only thing left is a Ferrothorn. So now it's just going to take a couple turns of Dragon Claw to finish him off. So yeah, while Ghost team it looks like a pretty interesting Rain team when you're in a single match, maybe even a doubles match. Unfortunately, in rotation, it won't really be able to do a lot. Fortunately for Ghost, since he faced my rotation team now, it means the next time we battle, it will be singles or doubles. So he won't have to go through this again, at least not right away. But that's it for this match. Good try from Ghost, and better luck next time for him.